This Raiders mailbag is presented by Panda Sups. And if you guys want to go ahead and get in better shape, use code SUPERFOODS at checkout. If you're wondering where the link is, it's down there below. PandaSups.com, 35% off. Got to get your hands on the new greens. Your body is absolutely going to thank you. Now, this Raiders mailbag was filmed on Tuesday, so there might be some different things that end up happening. Like, looks like Tom Cable is out. I actually do think that the Raiders are going to move on from Tom Cable. At least I hope so. He's been a dude who has really struggled wherever he's gone. Now, he's done some good with the Raiders, but he's done mainly bad. I think that the Raiders decide to move on from Tom Cable. Let's go to Cameron Sprouse. Sorry. As good as Adams is, he only runs a 4.5 40, and he's now north of 30. We need another Ruggs. Our offense was dynamic with him. Speed kills, baby. Well, unfortunately, I think he's only 29, which I was going to say that. But I also think there's a big difference between being fast of a 40-yard dash and then fast on the football field. Davante Adams is elite. He's the best receiver in the league. And if you want to say, like, if you get Davante Adams, then there's no more excuses for Carr. If I'm going to invest in my quarterback, I'm also going to make sure that I have the most pieces around him as humanly possible. And if you want somebody that wants to be a Raider, like Adams does, that's why you go out and get him. I'm okay breaking the bank. These owners, they have the money to be able to do it. I understand that cap space is also an issue. If you want to make things work, you can do it. And if you have the opportunity to go get Davante Adams, you absolutely have to 100% go ahead and do it. Let's go to Evan and Michelle. In all honesty, the Raiders need a right tackle. With our Patriot connections, thoughts? Oh my God. Thoughts on signing Trent Brown since he's a free agent if it was a cheap contract. Now, I've been saying all week that you're going to see a lot of questions. You're going to see a lot of rumor stories of people linked to the Patriots because of the new head coach that the Raiders hired. I don't want Trent Brown anywhere near the team. He was a cancer on the field, in the locker room, and there's a lot of players that I don't like mentioning. Trent Brown is a top 3 player that was once a Raider that I have absolutely no respect for. Is he a good player? In New England, sure. But I would not want Trent Brown back on the team. He'd literally have to play for free. That's the only way I'd want him on my team. Now, if the Raiders decide to bring Trent Brown in, I'm going to go effing nuts. That I can guarantee you. But to make sure you guys never miss anything going on in the offseason, hit that sub button, news, rumors. We got all that stuff covered for you. Trades, free agency, draft coverage. If you want more mailbags, we are the channel for you because we break it all down for you. There's no other Raiders channel that does what we do. We have over 107,000 subs for a reason. We're the #1 most watched Raiders show in the entire world for a reason. We're just built different, just like the nation. Let's go to Jarrett Hopfinger. Trade Travon Mullen and draft a cornerback in the draft. Priority should be Max Crosby and Hunter and fix the O-line. Adams too much. Well, I agree that you're absolutely going to extend Max Crosby. If it was up to me, I would also extend Yannick Ngakoue, give him an extra few years so he's on the team. You're going to extend Hunter Renfrow as well. That I agree with. In terms of trading Trayvon Mullen, I don't think you're going to get as much for him as what you hope. I mean, if I was an NFL team, I'd say, what would I want for Mullen? I'd give you a 4th, maybe a 5th round pick because of his injury history, and he's been a little bit above average, I would say. I do like some of the cornerbacks in the draft, but there's still some other good ones out there in free agency as well. Now, they're a little bit older in age, but the only way I'm trading Mullen is if I bring back Hayward, because what I don't want is 2 new cornerbacks who have never been a part of the team then as your starting cornerback. So it's definitely something to keep in mind. I like the creativity, though. Let's go to Kayla Neese. Keep DC. Renfrow is the GOAT. He's going to go off in this system, Waller as well. I mean, Waller is going to have a phenomenal year. Foss Moreau is going to have a sneaky good year too, I think, in a lot of these 2 tight end sets that you're going to see. And yes, Renfrow is going to succeed in the Patriots offense is what they do because of the ability to go in the middle of the field. But Renfrow, it's not going to matter what system he's going to be in. He is a very elite route runner, and that's a true word. He is an elite route runner. The Raiders are more than likely going to keep Derek Carr, and yes, Renfrow, he's the GOAT. What up, Wayne? Mitch, I know you love trades, so here you go. Trade for Agholor. All right. How much would it cost, and what would you give up for him? So overall, Nelson Agholor, he's got 1 year left on his deal with New England. I believe if you go out and trade for him, again, you're only going to have to pay the base salary, which for Agholor's $9 million a year. So essentially, you'd get Agholor on a 1-year deal for $9 million. So I guess if I were to throw out this idea, my mailbag trade idea would be Nelson Agholor for a 5th-round pick. So the Raiders, they have 2 5th-round picks. It's probably like somewhere around like 150 and 151. So shout out to Sam. Here's my idea. So the Raiders, they would get Nelson Agholor. The Patriots get a 5th-round pick. Now, this is the deal that I would offer them because I get that Agholor was good for the Raiders. He was not very good, though, last season for New England. I personally don't know if New England would do this because they obviously wanted Nelson for whoever the quarterback was going to be. But if you're telling me right now, if I wanted to be able to add speed for somebody that Derek Carr liked on a 1-year, $9 million option, and it cost me a 5th-round pick, I personally would make this deal. But what do y'all think? Who wins this deal? Raiders or the Patriots? What do you think about this? The last time Nelson Agholor played with Las Vegas, he had 47 grabs, 800 and I believe like 47 yards and 8 touchdowns. He was really good for Carr. He added a lot of elements to the team. But again, you'd give up a 5th-round pick and you'd have to pay him $9 million. Let's go to Shane Gamble. Hey, Mitch, let's face it, Adams is getting tagged. I say we sign Robinson, draft Romeo Doubs, who I actually have been doing more homework on, and I like him. Trade Edwards for an offensive line / draft pick. Thoughts? I mean, if I could trade Bryan Edwards, I would. I'd personally, if I was an NFL team, I'd probably give you a 6th-round pick for Edwards because he showed me this past season that guy can't create separation. He's not going to be able to get open, and I wouldn't want him as a top 2 receiver on my team. In terms of Romeo Doubs, good overall athlete. I like Allen Robinson, probably the best bang for your buck type of receiver. But in terms of offensive line / draft picks, the offensive linemen that I really like in this draft early on, a lot of them are more left tackles. I could actually see them maybe kicking Denzelle Good over to the right side of the offensive line, trying to find an extra guard. But I like some of these ideas in here, and yes, I would try to trade Bryan Edwards. Let's go to Bone Daddy 24. It's what they call Sam on the weekends. Mitch, when do you think the coaching staff will be filled out with all the spots? This is what I love about McDaniels, what I love about Ziegler. They didn't say we're going to bring in a new staff. They said we're going to do our homework. They're going to interview Gus Bradley. They're going to interview all these coaches, and then as a collective unit, they will go ahead and make the decision. I cannot tell you how much I respect what I have heard thus far out of McDaniels' mouth, what I've heard out of Ziegler's mouth. But unfortunately, I don't have the exact timetable because they are going to take their time, and they're going to make sure that they make the right hires. And when they do make the right hires, we're going to be breaking it all down for you here. Now, today's mailbag is presented by Panda Sups, and I want you guys to be healthier. I want you to be healthier, happier in 2022, and if you look good, you're going to feel a lot better. So go to PandaSups.com, use code SUPERFOODS to get 35% off all of Panda Sups' awesome products. Now, they did get their greens back in stock, and the reason why they're back in stock is because they're very popular. I personally think it tastes really, really good. I take a scoop, throw it in a glass of water when I wake up every single morning. Actually, I also take some when I'm at work because it's going to be able to wake you up as well. Finding the time to eat healthy and finding the time to make sure you get enough vegetables in your diet, it can be difficult. I meal prep personally. I know how tough it can be sometimes with my busy work schedule. You take a scoop of this and you get everything you need. And they did just launch a brand new flavor. It's orange. Tastes really, really good. 35% off. PandaSups.com. High-quality supplements. Your body is 100% going to thank you. In terms of some of the benefits of using the greens from Panda Sups, it's going to help your joint and brain health. Like I know, like for me, I've been trying to work out a lot more. I wake up in the mornings, I'm like, shit, I'm 28 now. It's hard for me to get out of bed. This does actually really help my recovery. Probiotics, very, very important, believe it or not. Basically, it's like an oil change. Cleans out your insides to make sure your body's running a lot better. Vitamins, minerals, you guys are smart. You know that they're important. It does help give you energy, and it's earth-grown nutrients, so it's nothing weird. I know it might look like a powder, but it's all like very, very healthy materials, and it's stuff that, again, it's not chemically made. Panda Sups green benefits, PandaSups.com. Use code SUPERFOODS for 35% off to get your hands on some greens. Let's go to Carlos47. Hey, Mitch, how much do you think Casey Hayward and Yannick future with the Raiders will be affected by the fact that Gus is no longer on the team. I mean, Ngakoue, he's still got 1 year left at $13 million, so it might impact if the Raiders decide to go a 3-4 front. Ngakoue might not decide to sign an extension because last time he played with Baltimore, he wasn't very good, though it was the third time he was traded that year, so I'm going to give him a little bit of a pass on that. In terms of Hayward, yeah, if Gus doesn't come back, Hayward's not going to be as, I would say, excited to be on the Raiders team because he was so good because of the fit, because of the fact that he knew the Gus Bradley defense. And if I was Hayward and if Bradley goes somewhere else, I would probably try to go sign somewhere else as well. Let's go to Emmanuel Salazar. How about giving Brandon Fayscon a shot? I don't want to give Brandon Fayscon a shot unless it's Fireball. Then, you know what, I might give him 2 or 3 because Fayscon showed me this. He was good in the first game or two, and then teams got tape on him, and then they picked on him. He got picked apart. That's why you'd start seeing Desmond Trufant come in. He's a good depth player, and if you want to keep him on the team for depth, sure, that's fine. But if Brandon Fayscon is going to be a starting cornerback on any NFL team, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. Let's go to Julio Santiago. Could Denzelle Good play right tackle for the Raiders? Could he play right tackle? Yes, and it's actually an option. So when the Raiders gave Denzelle, it was like 2 years, like $8.9 million. I think it was somewhere around there last offseason. Unfortunately, then he tore his ACL, which was, no bueno. But yes, the Raiders like him as a tackle. He's played some right tackle before. They also like him because he can play right guard. He can play left guard. And let's just say you miss on a lot of these guys in free agency. You don't get the right guy in the draft. Then you could see Good potentially play tackle. But from everyone that I talk to, everything that I see, the plan is to have Good play as a guard. So you put Good as a left guard. You have Alex Leatherwood as your right guard. Andre James as your center. Colt Miller plays left tackle. Then you just have to find a right tackle position, which is why I personally want the Raiders to go out and get somebody like a Morgan Moses or a veteran right tackle to pair next to Alex Leatherwood. So who's going to be the Raiders starting right tackle in 2022? I've been trying to wrap my mind around the Raiders right tackle position ever since Trent Brown decided to just pack it in. And when I say pack it in, I meant in this area here. He just, it was a disgrace what he did to the Raiders organization. But besides the point, who's going to be the Raiders starting right tackle in 22? Is it going to be a free agent? Is it going to be somebody in the draft? Is it somebody on the team? Let me know down in the comments. Let's go to AJ Binning. Hey, Mitch, you think JMD, so Josh McDaniels, will be bringing along a lot of Patriot players and coaches to fill his staff? Patriot players, potentially. In terms of his staff, you could actually see some guys who maybe at one time were a part of the Raiders or the Patriots organization. I do think in terms of special teams, a sneaky name is Joe Judge, former Giants head coach. So Judge had a lot of connections, was the old Patriots special teams coach, did a lot of good there. I know he didn't work out as a head coach, but he's a very well-respected special teams guy. You're going to see a lot of names connected with New England. Why? Because of the amount of people that were hired from the Belichick tree. So coaching staff, yes. Players, I'm sure there's going to be players that come to Las Vegas as well. What up, Cameron? Appreciate the super. I would rather go get Michael Thomas than Davante Adams. Cameron, I think you are crazy for saying that. Well, I just don't even understand. I mean, even if Davante gets tagged, I would give up 2 first-round picks for Davante Adams and then pay him before I give the Saints a first-round pick and then maybe a third-round pick for Thomas. Thomas hasn't played in 18 months. Thomas is a good receiver, but he's not Davante Adams. Michael Thomas was made because of that system, because of having a quarterback like Drew Brees. Do I think Thomas is a top 10 receiver? Yes, I do. Would he be a good fit with Derek Carr? Absolutely. But Davante Adams, every single day of the week, twice on Sunday over Michael Thomas. Now, I know the Raiders aren't in the Super Bowl, but I've been trying to convince my bosses to allow me to do a watch party. Now, it's going to be just like we would do for a regular Raiders watch party. I want to do it for Super Bowl 56 of the Bengals up against the Rams. I also put out a poll on my YouTube community of would you guys want me to do it. I saw a few people say no, enjoy the game. I'm going to be working on that Sunday no matter what. So it's either A, I do a whole bunch of other videos and I don't get to watch the Super Bowl, or B, I do a watch party and I watch the Super Bowl with y'all. So you guys can let me know. I personally want to do one. Y for yes, N for no. I got to be able to show my boss that you guys want me to do it. That way I can go ahead and do a Super Bowl watch party with the nation. Now, I get it, y'all. I can't get to everyone's questions. We get a lot of people on here. Right now, we're live. We got over 1,600 people watching. Almost 1,000 likes. Come on, let's get to 1,000 likes. I'd appreciate it. But I do take time out of my days. I try to get through the DMs. Obviously, the more and more the show grows, the more difficult it can become to get to my DMs. I try to go through about 100 every single day. I get about 200 a day now, though, so I'm falling behind a little bit. But to make sure you never miss any news, any rumors, join me for my Instagram lives. Please hit me up on Instagram, @MitchellRenz365. Let's go to Emmanuel. Let's kick Denzelle to right tackle, get Andrew Norwell or Brandon Sherff for left guard, bring in A-Rob. Well, I believe Sherff – no, you're right. I believe actually Sherff is a right guard. Andrew Norwell is a left guard. So one of those things isn't going to work. I mean, if you want to put Brandon Sherff as a right guard, kick over Alex Leatherwood as a left guard, which he can absolutely do, and then throw Denzelle Good over to the right tackle position, that's another option. I also like Andrew Norwell a lot. I thought he got the short end of the stick being in Jacksonville, but Sherff's going to be the top guard. He's probably going to cost the most money. He's had a few injury issues, but if you're looking to establish a running offense, which Josh McDaniels, I think, will try to do, Sherff is a dude because he is one nasty SOB when it comes to in the trenches. Let's go to Foster Covers. Should we draft Trent McDuffie with our first pick? Now, I like Trent McDuffie a lot. Solid cornerback prospect. However, it literally comes down to what... man, I always do that. If the Raiders decide to bring back Casey Hayward, if they go out and get somebody like J.C. Jackson, my answer is no. If you go into the draft and your top cornerback is Travon, Mullen, and then you're kind of rolling around with, I don't know, Brandon Fayscon, Keyshawn Nixon, maybe they brought him back, then corner is going to be a major, major upgrade. I think the Raiders address their cornerback issue in free agency. That way you don't have to rely on some of these other guys, but McDuffie is a first-round prospect. Let's go to Chicken Man. Hunter Renfrow deserved the Pro Bowl over Keenan Allen to begin with. Yeah, I liked what Hunter was able to do. He definitely was able to step up. Overall, though, Keenan Allen is he's a better receiver than Hunter Renfrow. That's not me taking anything away from Renfrow. What up, Christian? Man, I hope they don't do a rebuild like they did after Del Rio left. Bengals are in the bowl. The Raiders were close that game. I'm just saying. I 100% agree with you because I said this to my dad. If the Raiders do not win 10 games, it is an absolute fail. If the Raiders do not make the playoffs, it's a fail. For them to be able to make the playoffs with the roster that they had this past season, that's what the goal of Josh McDaniels does. Good head coaches don't come in after a team wins 10 games and then does a rebuild. That makes absolutely no sense.